Alright, what's happening, family? Our movement still moving. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. This is a cause for a lot of deadbeat parents, child support issues, custody issues. This is the root cause of it. And I'm lucky to have a certain insight on this stuff. See, I came up, I listened to the older, my grandparents and great grandparents. I kind of enjoy being around my elders. You know, they don't let kids talk when you're kids, and they let you go play. And then the older you get, you sit closer and closer to the table, and they start imparting wisdom on you about things that happen. So here's the thing: mama's baby, daddy's maybe is the reason for DNA testing. It's not because you got to understand women were actually having kids with dudes. Like I'm gonna just straight up say it how my grandmother said it. DNA testing is a trip because back when I was coming up, all you had to do was tell a guy that it's his baby and he had to believe you. You see that? So you had a faction of men who actually believed them. You had a faction of men who were on the fence but took care of their responsibilities. You had a faction of men who said screw that and they just bounced, whether they were right or wrong. Now, this is part of the reason why custody issues are custody issues. People figure like, um, mothers nurturing and mothers take care of babies, and that's very true. Mothers nurture newborns because fathers can't breastfeed. It's not, we can't, naturally we can't do that. Mothers are needed a newborn way more than fathers are because of that fact. Problem is, mothers are also the first caregiver because shut up, dummy. Because you knew who the mother was. You didn't know who the father was. See, they used to try it with blood testing and all that stuff, and people used to do all kinds of crazy stuff. So everybody has people in their family who don't necessarily resemble anybody in the family. Oh, everybody's just not an anomaly. Oh no. There are people who went to their graves knowing. Matter of fact, when you go to watch that damn Tyler Perry shit, I think in the last movie they had, and I didn't even see it. I remember people talking about at the end Medea took Mr. Brown or whatever, and he was on Maury Povich, and he found out he wasn't the father. Now, if I ain't mistaken, Medea is supposed to be a grandmother by now, and they kid damn near 40 years old. It may be funny because it's in a movie, and it may be funny because Medea did it, but think about it. And all them other movies where she was beating up on dudes and shooting at everybody, she did never once divulge the fact that she knew that wasn't his daughter. Okay. Now, so this comes to everything else. So the same faction of guys still exists. The ones who take care of kids, the ones who on the fence, and the ones who bolt and run. So, at the end of the day, all this DNA was putting women on blast. Guys just didn't say nothing. Now, if it's your baby, it's because of this. All the, keeping a man out the house and all that, they came after all that. Because people forget, grandparents and great-grandparents used to talk about she might be screwing the milkman or the mailman or this. Because when the fathers were home, away at work, most mothers were stay-at-home mothers. And nobody had no idea what they did. Because all you had to be is dressed and ready for dinner. The plumber could come by, anybody could come by and hit it and be gone. And you can hit it raw because there wasn't that many diseases, right? You knock them up, bam. Same thing happens with when brothers back in the day, women say they got raped by white men, you wind up with light-skinned kids, right? Some of the women actually got raped. Some of the women, no. They was having sex with white boys, and they pull out the rape card so their man didn't leave them. Because you can't really, two black people and a light-skinned baby, unless they two light-skinned people, don't kind of make sense. You know what I'm saying? So, all this stuff mixed together creates all this conflict and confusion, and nobody ever gets to the root of the problem, because not everybody has all of these stereotypes of what is a deadbeat dad or what is a deadbeat mom, and nobody has ever asked their grandparents or great grandparents where the hell it started from. Well, that's where it started from. So now that you know this, and if you think I'm lying, go ask somebody who's older than me. Go ask somebody who's older than you. Go ask the people in your family who actually done this, seen this, been around this with their own eyes, and they're gonna tell you pretty much the same thing I just told you. So learn it for yourself. That's all I got to say. Peace.